Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to have you here. Welcome to the Quantum Alignment Show. It feels like we've had a really long break for summer, and I hope that over the course of the summer, you have given yourself the gift of listening to the guest hosts that we've had all summer. We've had a lot of our human design specialists and practitioners share their wisdom, and if you missed any of them, if you go on our Facebook page over on the left-hand side, there's a little tab that says videos. Check that out. We just had some incredible sharings, and these amazing practitioners totally rock and gave all their heart and their wisdom. So check those out. And of course, we are sort of coming up to the fall, and slowly but surely school will be starting, and we'll be getting back into the rhythm of the harvest season of the year, which is always a really creative time and an exciting time. And as we do so, we'll be bringing you juicy topics to get us launched into the next creative cycle in the human design year. So I'm exceptionally excited today because I get to have my best friend and my creative collaborator, and I think one of the most wise, brilliant people I know, and I just can't speak highly enough of Michelle Vandepas. We're going to talk today about human design, business, how do you create in your business, what's going on in business, how is business changing. We joke between the two of us, even though we don't look like it, right, Michelle? We have like over 100 years experience. Not kidding, but we have
almost
over 60 years plus of experience combined in business.
Yeah, I have.
Don't do the math.
Yeah,
don't do the math. It's just numbers. But between the two of us, we've owned several multi-million-dollar businesses. We've endured the booms and busts of businesses. We've run our businesses while we have raised children and foster children. I was a single mom at one point. Michelle's had like 10 foster children and a teenage girl, and it's an interesting adventure and certainly a real conversation. We were talking before we logged on to Facebook about reality, and part of Michelle's reality is this week she was at a terrible hailstorm, so her car is totally smashed, and every time she drives now it rains, and it rains into her car, so she's waiting for the insurance adjuster to show up while we're broadcasting. And I was sharing that this morning in my real life, I was making a video for my students for a class I'm teaching, and I could not get my dog to stop stealing the show, so I finally included him in the video. So welcome, Michelle. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you. What an intro. So, we're going to talk about this, but real life is sometimes you do have to drive with an umbrella. I mean, it's like there's no rental cars to be had. It's open up there, and we're
it's a great metaphor, because I think,
it is.
And we're going to talk about this in just a minute. I'm going to show you guys the hardwiring for business in the human design chart. I'm going to talk a little bit about how it's changing, because we're in this very, very interesting place in the evolution of our economy and in the evolution of our businesses, and even in the evolution in the way in which we create. So even if you're not in business, what we're going to talk about today is going to impact you, and business impacts you, whether you have one or not. It impacts you. And honestly, part of what inspired me to think about, continue to have ongoing conversations about changes in business was I was flying American Airlines recently, and they're not my favorite airline, I'm not going to lie. And I have had this experience with them before, and I thought it was a fluke, but it wasn't. I can fly all over the world with my yoga mat, and no one ever charges me for my yoga mat. It jams under the front seat of my bag with the seat with my backpack, and it doesn't take up space, and it's not heavy. And they pulled me for having too much baggage and charged me $60 to send my yoga mat, into the cargo hold. And I was furious. And mostly I was furious because nobody cared. You know, there was not like, oh, I'm so sorry, or just please don't do it next time, or, you know, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because it wasn't going to affect the weight of the plane. It was going in the cargo hold. It wasn't taking up space. And nobody could really think through that. And that was frustrating. And I started thinking about business, and I started thinking about, you know, when you look at the design of business, which we're going to look at in a minute, business is what's called tribal energy. It's about caring. It's about giving value. And the way we have business structured nowadays, you know, we have business structured as these giant corporations that, because they're collective structures, they're not tribal structures anymore, they don't have caring, literally they don't have caring built into them. And I'm curious, as we evolve and we look at an expanding tax base, at least in America, of small businesses and home-based businesses and self-employed people. And, you know, the nature of business is shifting and changing very quietly, but very powerfully. You know, what's it going to look like for us individually as recipients of business and as people who will probably at some point be inspired to do some kind of business? What is it going to look like as we continue to go through this powerful shift that we're in the middle of, right, you know, on the planet right now? So Michelle has incredible expertise, and I'm going to beg her to bear with me for one moment just as I slap up some human design slides for you guys. Before I show you these slides, though, I just want to very, very powerfully remind you, I'm talking about the chart and the archetype of business in the chart in general. Sometimes when I present this material, I get a lot of emails from people who are like, well, I don't have any business energy in my chart. Does that mean I can't do business? You all have all of the chart. Please remember that. If it's white on the chart, it means you experience that energy in a variable way and in an intense way. And it's in that experience of that energy that you're designed to deepen your wisdom about those energies, and you can still use them. If you have it colored in on your chart, it means you have that energy fixed and consistently, and that's an energy that you have access to in a consistent way at all times. And you all have all the charts. So every single one of you has the energy for business and success and creativity and all the other stuff in the chart, including getting a soulmate and having good sex and eating good food and having a healthy body. All of that potential is in your chart too. So don't think that you're doomed because of your chart and you think you don't have something. You've got it all. So I'm going to just quickly open up some slides here. I'm just going to start these here for you guys. So I just had to share this because I'm so in love with this image. And I don't know if it's particularly relevant, but here's our intro slide. The power of thinking small and how to create success in your business by design. And that was sort of like me and the dog in the video this morning. One of the things that Michelle and I are really going to talk about after I show you this hardwiring in the chart and what it really means for us is that the root of business success isn't about your education, how much capital you have access to, business techniques, plans, and strategies necessarily, especially if you're using ones that are general and not specific to you, your ability to use sales formulas, not necessarily, especially if you're using sales formulas that are not designed for you, marketing, high-end clients, what you wear, how you look, your branding. Meaning, when I'm talking about this stuff, so many times when we go into business, we're trying to fit into some model. We are told this is what you do to have a high-end client. This is what you wear if you want a certain brand. This is the sales formula that you use. And one of the things that, you know, Michelle and I are going to talk about is that your business will be successful when you're aligned with who you are. And you can be radically crazy successful wearing what you like to wear, selling in a way that feels comfortable for you, having the kinds of clients that you like to work with, because you can do high-end and low-end clients and still make a lot of money, or certainly still create an intense amount of support and impact with your business. Your business techniques, there is no one-size-fits-all techniques. There's a whole bunch of them. There's no sales formula. Sometimes you can sell a lot simply by your enthusiastic alignment with the value of what you bring. So we're going to talk about that today. When we look at the energy for business in the blueprint for energy for business in the chart, this is where business energy lives in the chart, in these three channels. And when I'm going to break it down for you in just a minute. But one of the things I want you to think about, and I'm going to finish with this before I jump on with Michelle here, is that this circuit is actually literally in the midst of a giant evolution. The chart itself is changing, which when we talk about the shift, part of what we see in human design is there's a mechanical way that we are shifting. The actual mechanics of our hardwiring is changing. And one of the things that is changing is the blueprint for business. So this is how we do business now, but we're moving towards a more evolved model of how we do business that's even more profound and beautiful. The first thing I want you to know is that the root center is part of business. And the root center is adrenaline energy. It's the pulse, the surge for action. But it's also an energy that operates, that gives you that pulse when the timing is right. So much about what we create in business, and Michelle, you know this is true, and you can jump in on this anytime, is about timing. You might come up with the next new brilliant idea, but it might not be the time yet to share that idea. And sometimes you have to incubate the idea, or you have to lay the foundation for the idea while you're waiting for the timing to catch up with the idea, right?
Absolutely. And it's our job to plant the seeds and grow the plant, but we can't hurry along the harvest.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said it so well the other day. You said you wouldn't put an acorn in the ground and don't come back in the morning and expect there to be an oak tree.
Right. It's got its own timing, but you tend to the plants, and we'll
Totally.
talk about that. Yeah.
Totally. And that's, that's so much in this energy here. The second center that's part of business circuitry is the spleen center. This is the place where you have an intuitive sense of, believe it or not, timing. So timing is integral in 2 of the 4 centers here in business, and your spleen, that intuitive pulse, will tell you when the time is right to begin to sell or to share what you've been building quietly, what you've been growing, what your acorn is all about, right? The third center that we see in business is the will center, which is the center for value, but it's also the center for sustainability. And that's so important when we think about how we build business in the context of an evolving world, and certainly in the context, particularly for those of you who are self-employed, or in some way you have your own business or freedom within some other person's business. Maybe you're working as a contract person. You can't be sustainable in business if you don't have built into your business infrastructure that creates for you support, not only support to continue to grow your business, but support for you to be able to recharge and replenish your own resources. We are resourced, literally resourced. We reconnect with source, and we are resourced here in this center. And if you go into your business without consistent cycles of rest and recalibration and learning and expansion and retreats, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're trying to build this business on the side while you work your job, the potential is really high for you to burn out. And honestly, I think the major reason why most small businesses fail has nothing to do with all the things that the Small Business Association tells us it has to do with. It has everything to do with people are too depleted to keep going with the adventure of building a business. Last but not least, the last center in the business circuitry is the throat center. This is the center for communication and manifestation into action. And to a certain degree, even this center is about timing. If you're going to share what you know, or share what you have, or transmit a message of some kind with your business, you have to make sure that people are listening to you. And I see a lot of people put a lot of energy and effort into sharing what they know, or even sharing their marketing, and they haven't secured yet the right kind of audience that really hears what they have to offer, which is really important when you talk about maintaining, sustaining your energy. You'll burn yourself out if you're standing on the top of a hill announcing to the world that you have this brilliant product that can change everybody's lives for the better, and nobody's hearing you because you're on the wrong hill talking to the wrong people using a megaphone that's broken, right? You gotta have the right voice and the right place to share your voice, and the right vehicle to give your voice to the world. When we look at these gates, we see that the gate 54 is part of the circuitry. This is the gate of enlightenment. This is where we get divine spark. So business in and of itself is the process of manifesting divine inspiration into form. And so those of you who have your business, one of the things that I encourage you to do is to think about what was the source of that spark, and what are you doing to cultivate and deepen your connection to source so that you can stay in that sacred creative flow, as Michelle was saying, laying the foundation for the timing and the launching and the accessibility of the business that you're creating. It also has within it the gate 32, which is about intuition, right timing, and the energy for endurance, meaning that right timing is oftentimes connected to your consistent connection to source or spirit or yourself or your intuition. That it's not just, and sometimes that's about being wise about obviously what's going on in the marketplace, but it's also about knowing how to tune into yourself and feel into, what's the right thing to do. Sometimes business is luck. And sometimes that luck really is about breaking old patterns and having an inner sense of timing of now is the time to jump into something new and break a pattern. And your own gut sometimes can tell you a lot more about timing than reading spreadsheets from what's going on in the marketplace. The gate 44 is where, this is actually where branding lives in the chart. This is the energy for making things beautiful. It's also the energy for breaking patterns. Again, a lot of what business is about, especially if you're innovating in business, it's about offering something new that breaks an old pattern that doesn't serve. And it helps people transform those patterns so that they will, in exchange for value, they will give you value, and you in exchange will give them greater value for their own life in some way. Your business has to have inherent within it the theme or a tangible way that you're going to create value. And you also have to stand in your value. That exchange of value that happens in the process of sales is about giving value, but it's also about you making sure that what you receive in exchange for what you give it matches energetically. Because if it's not matching energetically, you're not going to stay sustainable in business. If you're giving away your services, or you're bartering for your services, or you're not charging what you're worth, or you're devaluing your product, you're not going to make enough to be able to stay in business. And it's not just about make enough to stay in business, make enough to stay in business and take care of yourself. To go get, Michelle and I will share this with you in a minute, but to go get a massage if you need a massage, or go be able to take an afternoon off to go walk around a lake and appreciate nature and just breathe and think and go back to that, okay, what's the divine spark here and what do I need to do to deepen that divine spark? And if you want to close a sale, and we all hate sales because we are taught to sell in a way that isn't in integrity, you have to be able to speak with integrity about the value of what you're offering and the value of who you are. And you have to see the value in the client, which means if they bring a yoga mat on a plane, you need to let them bring the darn yoga mat on the plane, because it's okay. Because last time it was a small violin. It was a child's violin. And they made us pay $60 to ship the violin. And I said, now, the fact that it happened the second time, I'm thinking, I'm never going to fly American again. And granted, they're not going to miss my business. They will never notice that Karen Curry Parker is not flying on American anymore. But eventually, some way, if they're continuing to deliver that level of value, it'll catch up. Because it's not sustainable to not serve people. The gate 21 is about managing resources. This is where your accounting energy lives. It's sufficient and sustainable, meaning, and I've said this repeatedly, so I want you to hear me, it provides a foundation that includes rest and restoration, because you can't run your business when you're burned out. The last one, but not the least one, is the gate 45. It means that your business, in the expression, we're looking at the highest expression of business, business is not designed to be exclusive. It is designed to be accessible to the people who are ready for what you have to offer. And when we hold back and we don't make business available to people in an expansive, inclusive way, then we shut down the natural flow, the expansion of abundance on the planet. And certainly I would say when we look at the way business is changing, we have to start looking at what business gives the world is not just value, but also an increased state of well-being that's sustainable. So summing up, in other words, your highest expression of business is it's a manifestation of divine inspiration. that you maintain by having a deep connection to source via your intuition. It's for the greater good of everyone. It includes education, the creation of resources, the transmission of truth and transformation. It's sustainable, and it offers the opportunity to increase the sustainable management of resources. It has high integrity. It's built through love and relationships. It endures, it transforms, it's balanced, it involves community, and it's rooted in service, not sacrifice. And if you're making bricks and selling bricks in a hardware store, you're still providing a service. And when you enter into that business with the awareness of these bricks are creating a service, the value of your business goes up exponentially. There's no sacrifice or martyrdom in business because that's not sustainable. And money no longer in the modern world is not the only goal for business, but it is necessary to sustain your business. Your business success is going to be directly correlated to 4 key factors, which we're going to talk about in just a second. That's alignment. How aligned are you with these energies that I just showed you? And how aligned is your business with what you really want in your life and who you really are? Sustainability. Are you taking those breaks, those pauses, those rests? Are you really delivering value, and are you connected and aware of your value? And do you know how you create in the way that's right for you? And I just want to throw this in here because it's fascinating to me anyway. When we look at the new model for business, meaning this is how the model changes, we add a channel. Let me point to what we're adding. The new circuit for business adds the 50-27. That 50-27 is the energy of loving, cooking for, taking care of, nurturing, supporting people. So business becomes an even greater expression of contribution to the well-being of the world. So, all right, I'm done. That was just my gross overview. Please don't worry if you think you don't have any of the circuit in your chart. You're still totally capable of having a successful business. So, okay, Michelle, I'm unmuting you.
Okay, awesome.
So
amazing.
We made a plan to talk about, first of all, the power of thinking small. We were just hitting the other day, we were talking about what are some things that we want to talk about that we don't talk about a lot in business. And especially we don't talk about it in the context of how do you expand your business? And Michelle was saying, well, you have to think small to expand your business. And I said, well, that's not what people usually say. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Right. Well, shall I just jump in? Can I just jump in, Karen? Okay. So
yes, please.
I love this topic because we're all taught how to envision big and think big and write down your goals and do vision boards and have these big visions for your life. And I love all of that. But when it doesn't just mysteriously happen in the next year, we get an overwhelm and we're not sure what it is we're supposed to do or why the universe hasn't provided or we're scattered. And so I like to have the big dream and the goal, but then we've got to come down and think, what's the next thing on my plate? What's my thing I have to do this week? You and I are getting ready to launch something, which I think we're going to talk about. But, we've been planning small steps a little bit every day, a little bit every week. And then you went on vacation, I went on vacation. Things happen in between. We have real lives here. And so rather than go, oh, the whole vision is sunk because I wasn't able to do something on it this week, you just come back to what's the next step? What's the next step? And you think really small. Same thing about writing a book, because as you know, I do book coaching and publishing as well. You start with not even a whole chapter because some people go in overwhelmed, but what's one thing you want to say? Write it, do a writing prompt, and then write one paragraph around that writing prompt. And that's how you get a book written. It's not by, I have to outline the whole book. That may work for some people, but you still, even if you outline it, have to bring it down into workable chunks. So whatever you're looking at as your big dream, your big vision, your business, building, expanding is good, but then bring it down into the small, doable, bite-sized pieces of things that you can get done.
Totally. I haven't talked about this in a long time, but my Understanding Human Design book, which was a pretty hefty book, and it was actually a book I had to rewrite completely because I had a computer crash almost when the manuscript was complete and had to start over because I couldn't find the backup anywhere. But I wrote that book right after my 9-year-old was born, and I didn't have a lot of time, and I had 4 other kids at home. So I had 5 kids at home, and I was a full-time single parent. And I would literally put my daughter in a laundry basket and kind of push her into my office and sit with her on the floor by my feet. And I wrote that book 30, 45 minutes a day, and that was all I had. And I got it done in 3 months. So, sometimes I think we think, oh, I don't have time, or we think, oh, I have, how am I going to get to, being on stage with whatever your vision is, or, how am I going to get my product into the CVS drugstore, or whatever it is. I mean, because we all do different things and we all have powerful creative contributions. Sometimes we think we can't do it because we're so focused on the big thing. You don't realize the big thing, you get there by taking step by step by step. So.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And another analogy I use a lot is the garden and planting. So I have friends who are master gardeners and work on pulling weeds and tilling the soil and adding compost. And you may be one of these people, Karen, and always out there in the garden. And I am the kind of person that needs to just get some cucumbers out or some tomatoes out, right? And so again, it's this big vision of having a gorgeous garden with raised beds and all these rows of perfectly planted vegetables and flowers. But sometimes it's about just getting some cucumber seeds in the soil,
yes.
Right? So you go with what you have and where you are and take a step. And then maybe next year I'll have the master garden, or maybe next year I'll just add peas. Right? So we can't be beating ourselves up for where we are in our own process or what our real life is like. Because most of us on this call, I'm guessing, have lives outside of our business.
Totally. And I think, I've done transcendental meditation for a long time, more than 33, 4, 5 years now. Mm-hmm. And I studied with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and one of the things that he said that just echoed inside of my head was, it doesn't matter what you commit to something, because the minute you commit is the minute you'll know what to do next. And sometimes it's like, oh shoot, this wasn't the right thing, right? So there's the commitment. Sometimes it's it's the clarity around the next step comes. And sometimes that commitment is very small, it's 30 minutes a day, but the universe rewards that action. If you're actually working it, even if it's just 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, there's, energetically you're pulling out of the quantum field or collapsing potentials out of the quantum field into your reality that match what you're doing in your physical life. And so sometimes we put it off. I would say, don't put it off. Find a baby step, and don't think that it's less than because it's a baby step. Own it and be proud of it and celebrate what you create with it. Because I think here's just the other thing, just to kind of throw in with this. We focus so much on what we didn't get done, or what we're not doing, or what we think we're not working towards. And if you really break it down just to simple creative processes, if you understand that where you put your energy and focus is where you get growth and results. If you're focusing on, I didn't have enough time, I'm not getting it done, I'm so frustrated because this isn't happening, that's not happening, this isn't happening, I have this great idea, nobody wants to hear my idea, If that's where you're putting your energy, you're going to continue to expand on that potential collapsing into your reality, and it's going to be a reality you're going to keep reliving every day. If you want it to be different, look at what you do create. Where are your successes? Even if it's, oh my God, I wrote 1 paragraph today.
Right.
So what? You wrote
Absolutely.
a paragraph today.
Absolutely.
Some days a paragraph is something to be really grateful for. So.
Yeah. If I can I give another analogy? Because I talk a lot about how business, for most of us, because most of us have small businesses with just a few team members. It may just be ourselves, us and a partner, or maybe a team of 10 people, right? Most of us don't have huge businesses on this call, I think. Mm-hmm. And so our businesses are like another member of our family. It's like a baby. And so if you've had children, think about the whole process. You have all these dreams about what you're hoping your kids are going to do when they're 20, 30, 50 years old. You have dreams about being a grandparent, you have dreams about your child doing X, Y, and Z, right? Being on Broadway or being a doctor or running away to India and being a missionary, whatever it is, we have these dreams for our kids. But when the kid's actually born, we realize that they have their own energy. And we have to learn to co-create, or we're going to be in battle all the time, starting early, right? Starting even before 2. And so we learn as parents to give and take and to find out the energy of the baby and this growing child, and to realize they also have goals and dreams and a direction that they want to go in life. And a business is the same. It's exactly the same. When you start dialoguing with your business, and I teach a process about how do you connect with the business in the etheric plane and then dialogue with that business, it will guide you, it will direct you, it will give you ideas, but you're still the parent, right? So you still know better, maybe. But it's that dialogue and being open, and what does the business want next? And so, you know, you take all these metaphors, the gardening, but also raising a child. And the more the child gets older, the more there's a team in place. You know, there's schooling, there's friends, there's other support systems, and the same thing with the business. When do you add team members? When do you buy software to help support your business? When do you really need to up-level a website or not? Right? When do you need to up-level your child's bedroom or get them a phone or whatever? So all these things is a great metaphor for you are interacting with this other energetic entity. And as we move into more conscious quantum business, I think these entities become very co-creative and interact with each other. And so we have your business, Karen, and my business, and then we have a business together. And then, you know, Asha, your great friend who is a new friend for me, you know, has a business that we talked with her and traveled with her. And suddenly all these businesses interact. There's interconnected energies here.
They're business buddies.
They're business buddies. And it's just like we send our children off to school and they have these lives without us. And they have these connections without us. And I believe that that is happening as we move forward in this quantum business, that these energetic things are all happening that we can't even see it. And so how do we help guide and flow with these new energies to create a business that supports us so we can go for a walk around the lake or meet with the insurance adjuster and everything doesn't just fall apart in our lives?
Totally. And the comments on the side of it, people really like the idea of dialoguing with the business on the etheric plane. You know, and one of the things that I do too, and this is something you all can also do, is I actually run a chart. If I start a new business, and I haven't. It seems like I'm starting a lot of new businesses to my husband, but I actually only have 3 going right now. But, you know, and one of them is just I matured a business. I had a business called Joyful Mission that I started in 2000 when I got divorced from my first husband. And then I felt recently that the business that I'm running now just really needed to have a new identity, that it was really something distinctly different. And so I literally reincorporated with a new name and let the old corporation go. And when I got my corporation papers, I actually ran the chart for the day the corporation was born, right? And I look at that chart because to me that chart is the identity of that business. That's the mission of the business, the purpose of the business, the type of the business. I think it's interesting to note that my first business was a 1-3 projector and my new business is a manifesting generator. And I look at the incarnation cross of the business because it tells me a lot about the day of that incorporation, which to me is the birthday of the business, is the day when that energy becomes a form. It's the beginning of the form. And I'm here to serve as the business owner, to serve that form. It's a divine spark, right? It's that gate 54 at the bottom of the chart where the circuitry starts a business. It's that divine spark. And I'm a steward for that spark. And that stewardship means I know what it's about. I listen to it. I do what it calls me to do. I wait for right timing. And while I'm waiting for right timing, I build the foundation. I mean, you and I have been working on this all summer long. It's like, you have to do those nanny things that you like to do. I don't like to do so much, but, you get in there and dink with WordPress and build a website. Or, I like to write the emails and create the content. But all of those things are things that you can do while you're waiting.
Yeah, if we go back to the family of the child analogy, I've sort of had, I'm in Colorado Springs, and some of you may know we're really lucky. We can kind of choose our schools a little bit if you're willing to drive. And so I've had, high school picked out for my daughter since she was 2. But just because I had that vision doesn't mean that's where she was going to go, right? So you can plan, you can have the plan, what you're talking about, but then we still had to do elementary school and middle school and everything before we got to high school. So you can have the plan, but divine timing is she wasn't going to high school before, she was a teenager, even no matter how brilliant she might have been, right? And so the divine timing is everything in its own time, and there are cycles. And the quantum business, I think those are changing a little, but there's still cycles, and there is still timing, and there is still sequential steps. And you can bypass them, and you can take shortcuts, and you can do a random step out of order, but there are still some things that are natural cycles of life that will just go into play when you're aware of them.
Totally. So one thing I just want to throw out for all y'all, because I've been back home in the South now, so I can say all y'all again, is that tomorrow we have a powerful eclipse and a new moon. Wow. Great time for all y'all to go and take some time to dialogue with your business. I invite you guys to do that tomorrow. Really sit and write a letter to your business, or meditate on the soul of your business, the heart of your business, and ask your business, what do you need from me to nurture you, to support you, to help you grow, to help you fulfill your purpose? How can I serve you in serving the world in the role in which you play? And give yourself that gift, and give your business that gift of using that energy to really consciously harness this planetary celestial weather support that we're getting tomorrow for really pushing into a beginning of a really nice expansive phase finally this year. So good. Yes. You want to add anything else?
I was going to see if we could go back to talking about small steps at some point.
Yes. Go back to talk about small steps.
Shall I jump in? So I think one of the questions that I get, and I also struggle with a lot, is I have so much on my to-do list, and there's so much to get done. And I think when we think about our businesses, if we think about it in terms of projects, so you have all these businesses, but in reality 3, but actually you probably have 10 projects going on. Mm-hmm. I know I do. Most people do. If you break it up into projects, it's more manageable, rather than I have this business and all these things scattered out there that I have to get done. So the first step is to break it into projects. What's the first project? You're going to write a book. You're going to get a TED Talk. You're going to launch a website. You're going to launch a product. You're going to start teaching classes, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. And you break it up into what's the first project. Number 1, that's going to bring you some income, because without income, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. Right. And so you always want to have, where's the income? Mm-hmm. What is it that my clients want from me next? Any existing clients you have, or if you don't have any yet, into that. What is it that's going to be received well? Do some surveys, ask on your social media, ask, not necessarily your friends and family, but people that might actually buy from you. What is it that they would like from you next? And then you start working on that project. What is the one thing I can do today to start generating income? So if you're in overwhelm, don't worry about all the millions of details. Most of those can go away. Most of those, if you never do them, won't really matter. You may feel disconnected, but really, you can get on the phone and sell and take a credit card or have someone send you money on PayPal. And you don't have to have the website and the shopping cart and the sales page and your offer and everything all laid out perfectly in the downloads and 17 auto sequential emails going out and membership. You don't. It's nice to have it all, but I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it, and I have all those moving parts, right? I am starting to get like this just talking about it. You can always get on the phone and say, hey, I've got a new coaching package. I can take your credit card. You don't have to have everything. So look at what does your client want and how can you get started today? What's the next thing that will help me generate income? And if the sales process puts you in panic, don't think about it as sales. Think about it as who is it that needs me? So I got to take a little segue. Finally, I got on the Breaking Bad bandwagon this summer and watch. And the follow-up is you better call Saul. And for those of you who know the show, you'll get it. But this lawyer's up there saying, there are people out there who need me. There are people who need me. And that's it. Who is it that needs me? That's it, exactly, Karen. And so the lawyer's there saying, I know you're out there somewhere. I just have to go connect with people. And that's what sales is. Just finding the people that need what you have and connecting with them. That's it.
Absolutely. And I think, that's the piece. And I think also understand this is a piece that I see people fall down on a lot. Really be able to, and this is sometimes the struggle, but work on this. Really be able to at least convey 3 tangible pieces of value that your work has to offer. So what is your client going to get from them? Because sometimes we get so enthusiastic and so deeply in love with what we're doing and what we're serving that we forget that you also have to explain it to somebody else in a way that makes them really get the relevancy of it. So make sure you are able to go, okay, people are going to get A, B, and C from this, because if you can't speak into that, then you just sound like a confused, albeit enthusiastic mess sometimes. So who needs me and what can I give them, maybe, is the next question that goes along with that.
Absolutely. And there's a piece of this that goes back to some really basic marketing features and benefits. So what is the benefit that somebody's going to really get? What are they going to walk away with? How are they going to feel? And you have to sell them what they want and then give them what they need, which is a little bit crazy. Health clubs are really great at that. Health club, you walk into a health club and they're like, wow, you're going to feel great in 3 months. You get in here every day. We're going to kick butt. You're going to feel great. You're going to lose weight. You're going to have awesome abs and you'll be able to hike Pikes Peak, by the end of the year. But and they're painting this blue sky, and that's how you get on board. And intuitively that it's going to be hard work and sweat, and you're probably going to go home in pain, but they don't sell you that part. They give you that after they've got your credit card. And it feels a little manipulative, but we all know we're going to have to do the hard work. So the key to sales is doing it in a way that's not manipulative, doing it in a way that's really connecting with your prospect, your buyer, find out what it is they really want. Make sure you're the person to deliver that. So there has to be a connection there. Make sure that you can give them what it is that they want. And then you give them what they need in a way that they can receive it and actually work through it.
Totally. And one of the things, and marketing and selling always comes up as a big hot topic when we talk about business. And we talk about business by design. So one of the things that I'll do, and Kristen, maybe if you can find this and post this on the Facebook page and in the chat, I do have a little report that I've written called Business by Design, and it actually talks about the different ways that you need to structure your marketing message and how you engage with your business by your human design type. Because the other thing that happens a lot when we talk about sales, and that icky place that we hate sales, is a lot of times we're trying to sell in a way that's not true to how our energy works, and it just doesn't feel natural at all. And certainly I would say most of us are trained to sell like manifestors with will centers, and that's a very, very small percentage of the people that actually have the design of a manifestor with a will center. Most of us need to engage in the sales process in a very different way. And when you can learn to sell by type and sell in a way that's correct for your energy type, suddenly you're not selling anymore. You're just having, an empowering dialogue with someone, and you're supporting them in discovering what they need to transform their pain into something more valuable, more precious, and more worthy of who they are.
Nice.
Good. Thank you, Kristen. You did that fast. So, okay, our next topic that we put on there, just our little promise that we said, is we wanted to talk about, I want to talk about this, and I think you do too, and I think this is an important topic. I watch so many people, let me just reword this. Where's that fine line? And how do we find that fine line between striving and pushing and willing and building the business with just sheer grit and effort versus that elegant place where you are still obviously putting in the work, and the work, when I say putting in the work in the way that's right for you. How do you figure out, am I working it and it's working with me and it's growing with me? How do you pull it or allow it or align with it versus how do I push it and form it and fight it into form? And how do you know the difference with, how do you know if you're doing what you're doing?
Is that a question?
That's your question, Michelle.
Wow. Yeah. And I think the gardening analogy again is perfect, right? Because if you staked up your tomatoes and your cucumbers or give them vines to grow on, it's going to work better, right? And so you put some structure up and then you let them do their thing. It's difficult if you're trying to tell a tomato to grow this way when it wants to grow this way. Maybe it's not such a great analogy. But you can't be pushing all the time. You'll wear yourself out, right? It's about going with the flow. We've all heard that. So think about kayaking down a nice, gentle river. No white water here. A nice, gentle river. And you're kayaking down or canoeing down. You're not canoeing upstream, but suddenly you see there's a big boulder there. You're just going to paddle around it, right? You learn to go around it. You learn to read the river, and that's like business. You learn to read what's happening in front of you so that you can go around, and sometimes you even have to take your canoe out and portage around, right? You learn all of that in business. But if you have to paddle upstream, it's really difficult. And that's what most of us are taught to do. Get out there, sell, push, get up earlier, stay up later.
Destiny. Yeah.
Right. Do your goals, right? And if we do it with the analogy of canoeing down a gentle stream, it's so obvious that we're not going to go upstream, right? We're just going to go with the flow, and that's how we learn to go with the flow. Then when the white water comes, we're prepared. We know how to read the river. We've got some experience. We've learned how to be a better canoeist or a kayaker. And so I think you go with what they call low-hanging fruit in business. It's like, what's the easy stuff? You're going to pick that apple right here before you get your ladders and go all the way up and climb the tree to try to get those top apples. You go with what's easy first, and same thing in business, because that's how you learn. You go with the small steps. You go with the easy things. You have some successes. You make sure that you feel good about what you're doing before you go for the really difficult stuff. You don't go straight into school and learn geometry and advanced algebra until you learn a few easier things first. And same thing in business. You've got to have some success. When you have some success, you will feel internally as though you know what you're doing, that you're getting positive reinforcement inside of yourself. So if you are always, it's not working out the way you expected it to over and over and over again, you get deflated. I love that. Was that Eeyore at the very first slide? No, I don't think it was Eeyore. Eeyore, he's always so deflated, and why? You've got to have some successes so you have that positive feedback. And so you go for what's easy at first. You go down an easy river first. You have some successes. You give yourself positive reinforcement so you're ready for the next more challenging thing. So you're ready for the $100,000 launch. Now, some people say just go straight for that. Great if you've got the confidence and you've got the know-how and you feel you can deliver it.
And if you have cultivated within you a set of meanings or a set of beliefs that support that, then yes, leap into it. But I think that's the other piece. A lot of times we have to we have to calibrate ourselves along the way to be comfortable receiving and creating bigger and bigger things.
Right. So, that would be like throwing someone in elementary school into advanced algebra. It just doesn't make sense, right? You've got to be ready. And that's not saying you can't have big dreams and that someone will pick you up and put you on Broadway when you're 17. You can have all those dreams, but you have to be prepared. You do have to be prepared.
And I think, I want to bring this back to a really tangible conversation that I want to really kind of drive home. My clients, my students, my professional students really oftentimes struggle with setting their price. They don't feel comfortable because they're new, they're worried they're not going to do a good job, they don't have a lot of experience, and even though in my mind I know the value of what they have to offer, I really encourage them to go first with that place where it feels right and to go with that until you get to the point where you're just, and you have to kind of stay tuned into yourself to know that, okay, I've reached my comfort zone and I'm so in my comfort zone, I'm wearing my fuzzy slippers and my fuzzy blanket and I'm wrapped up in here. When you get to that place, then you have to push yourself. And it's really okay to push yourself incrementally. Don't leap from I charge $97 an hour to I charge $1,000 an hour. That might be a leap that spans a belief gap that you can't make it across, and you won't have the meanings to support that quantity and that quality of leap just yet. And give yourself permission to just keep trading up shoe sizes until you get to, the size that really feels good and correct. And recognize that it's never, I think this is the other piece that we don't talk about a lot, but it's not like you're going to get to, okay, I'm now $100,000 an hour and I'm going to sit at this fee forever and my business is chugging along the way. I've got it all. It's I think we have this idea we're going to set up some factory or machine, and then once you get it to this place, this finish line, it's never going to change again. You'll just be stable and dynamic all the way along, but you never get that place. It's always expansion.
I have to talk. So your business is like a person. It's like this growing being. It always changes, always, right? It drives me nuts, the coaches that say, just double your fees. Just double your fees. Here's the thing. If you want to go from a $97 an hour to a $500 an hour, then put a package together that has a $500 value. So it may be that you're giving an hour of consulting, and maybe there's a PDF, and maybe there's a group class that all comes together. So you can put together a higher dollar value package, but make sure there's value there, because I think you're right. Most of us, if we just double our fees, we don't feel it internally yet, and then it's really hard for us to sell.
And then you don't sell, and then you feel like
and then you beat yourself up. I'm not worth it. That didn't work. I'm going to go launch something else. I'm going to go back to my $97. No, just put together a package that the value is there that you can really stand behind and say, this is a great program I've got going here, and it's $500 or $5,000 or whatever it is. Yeah.
So perfect. So I want to talk about two things that Michelle and I are doing together to sort of give you an invitation.
Ooh.
And then I want to bring it around, and I know you may need to go because your insurance adjuster sounds like he's there, but
Yeah, well, there was the mail guy was at the door, so I'm sorry about that. No, yeah.
But I want to bring it back around to giving you guys just some things to contemplate and take with you as we move into this new moon energy, and we move into this energy this week of understanding that we are starting next week really about to get some breakthroughs and clarity. So if you've been sitting with, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? What's the next step? That all that confusion's about to lift, and all that clarity that you've been hoping for months now is going to start peeking in from between the clouds. You're going to start figuring things out. But before I introduce these two opportunities, I just want to throw back the idea, again, just talking about that effort versus ease, right?
Yeah.
That we have, I think, this idea that we can't take a break or a pause or regenerate or restore ourselves until we've earned it, right? Until we've created the money to support it, or until we have the quality of success that says, okay, now I'm allowed to go take a break. I can't stress strongly enough, and this comes from me personally, and I know you have probably the same experience, Michelle. This is over 25 years of business coaching. The power of sometimes pushing the pause button and really pulling back for 3 weeks, a month, however long you need to, and taking care of yourself first, keeping your energy recalibrated, integrating the next phase of your business. Sometimes, for me personally, I'll tell you guys, I literally have cycles where I can feel my business whispering in my ear. In fact, I'm about to have one of those cycles over this weekend. My business has been telling me all week, hey, Karen, you need to sit and meditate and talk to us because we have some things we need to, integrate inside your cells so you can do the next thing. And we sometimes don't stop and do those pause button things because we think, oh, I don't have time. I have this to-do list that I'll get.
The universe will do it to you if you don't do it, right? How many people listening have gotten sick because they haven't listened? How many people have gotten in a wreck or fallen down the stairs or chipped over their dog?
Yes. Oh, that was you last year. I forgot you did that.
All of those things last year because you don't slow down and listen, right?
Totally. And the fear is, oh my God, if I take some time off, my business will disappear. I have such a comical thing, it happens to me when I take time off. I make more money when I'm not in the office than I do when I am. And this has happened to me so consistently that I can tell you you could map this pattern. And I still freak out every time I have to take a vacation, even though I could say, look at the data. Every time you go on vacation, you make more money.
And it's not just you. For anyone that I just want to say, my sister comes to visit me and her phone rings off the hook. She's like, I need to come visit you more often. It's because we've given it some space. We're not helicopter parents.
Right. Exactly.
We're giving it some space to grow and evolve and be its own being. Yeah.
Yes. So don't be afraid. And I love this one. Go slow. I wouldn't even say go slow. Go your pace. Don't even try to go fast, slow. Don't try to figure it out. Go your pace. And for some of you, that might be speedy fast and then 2 months off. For some of you, that might mean slow and steady wins the race. For some of you, it might mean, running a little bit faster than everybody else all the time. We all have our own speed.
Or just consistent energy.
Yeah, but go the speed that's yours. And don't be afraid of the pause. There is nothing that's going to happen to your business if you take a month off that you can't fix or recalibrate or connect with. And I promise you, if you're doing that time off to enjoy and relax and savor and engage in beauty, first of all, research shows your creativity is going to go up exponentially. So your capacity to generate elegant and new innovative solutions to the challenges facing your business, to what you need to do to grow your business, that shows up. Those ideas, those inspirations. So go do something to amp up your creativity. Secondly, and this is just a little warning symbol, don't take time off and then lay on the couch and worry about your business for a month.
Or,
That doesn't count. Okay.
yeah.
That doesn't count.
or binge watch Breaking Bad.
That's iffy, you know.
I did it, but I did it after 9:00 at night.
Yeah. No, my thing is Queer Eye. I like Queer Eye. It's my heart candy. So, all right. So I want to share with you guys what we have been growing over the summer, which is in and of itself a miracle because I've had a kid home full time in the summer. You've had a kid home full time over the summer. But one of the things in the years that we have worked with business coaches and worked even together in our own businesses, one of the things that we have noticed is that, first of all, there are a lot of coaches out there. And actually, we met in a coaching program many years ago. And coaching is awesome and powerful and important. And also, sometimes coaching doesn't give us everything we need. That sometimes we need a place where we can just like log on and go, oh my God, my Facebook ad isn't working. It's not drawing. What's wrong with it? Or I'm stuck on inserting this code into my integration system between my buy now button and my WordPress page. Or we are like, hey, I have this idea. Can I just bounce this off you? Or even sometimes, and I don't know how it is. I mean, I have you, but I think for a lot of us, I always joke I'm an entrepreneurial shut-in, right? I don't know anybody. I don't leave my office. I like it that way, by the way. Don't get me wrong. But, sometimes we just need to go, hey, I just got this really great invitation and it's this huge like breakthrough success step for me. And I just want to share it with somebody who really gets it. Like I can go share with my husband, oh, this happened to me today. Or these people sent me this note. And he'll be like, oh, that's nice. And it's not that he doesn't care, but he doesn't get it, right?
Right. And
so, he doesn't know what I do. It's like there's no language, there's not like a word for it. So it's like he can't even describe it to his friends. So having a place, a community where you can get support, connect with people, stay on the leading edge of what's working, what's not, really be on the ground in a supportive environment, a virtual co-working space basically is something that Michelle and I have really been envisioning for a long time. And this year we really put our heads together and said, this is the year. Business is changing. People are operating from a strong desire of giving or creating in the world in a new way. We are looking at new models of how do we do business. We are exploring how do we create success in business. And we really wanted to create a place where business people could come and get that support, get that connection, get an opportunity to have somebody summarize the latest new book on leadership in your business or the latest book on virtual currencies in your business, or have a place where you didn't have to read the book, but you could just go and get a little bit of information on it and work on it. Take a course where you could master some little aspect of your business that you're wanting to really grow and expand.
Or publish a book.
So we put together this virtual co-working space called the Matrix Makerspace, and we haven't launched it yet. We are just in the beginning phase. We're building a waiting list still of people who may be interested in joining us in this venture. It's not going to be a huge, costly thing. Our intention was to really make sure this is a resource that's very accessible and tangible to people.
Can't we say?
Well, go ahead. You can say it.
Can't we say?
Go ahead.
So we're launching Founder's Price for, they don't know what they get yet. They get a lot. See, I'm jumping ahead. My manifesting generators
Your manifesting generators doing it.
Yeah, I just jumped ahead. But yeah, we're going to be launching this community for only $37 a month for founding members. So there are other communities out there, $200, $300, $400 a month, but we want this accessible.
Right, and this isn't going to be like join for $37 a month, and next month you're going to pay $3,687. It's not like that. It's just $37 a month. Boom, done.
So
Basta.
I want you to share a different screen.
You do?
Yeah, the matrix.world.
I haven't gotten there yet. So
the matrix.world.
Here's the other thing that we've been playing with. This is the one you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the wait list is linked at the bottom. Are you live?
No, this is a slide.
Okay. Yeah.
So
but that's all been updated, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's
so
cool.
write this down if you want to be on the waiting list and be part of our beta testing group and come and have Friday virtual wine happy hour with us. We'll have real wine. You can have real wine at your house, but we'll have virtual happy hour together.
Or tea, whatever.
Or tea, or talk about business. Click on the gracepointmatrix.com, and that'll take you to our waiting list. And the other thing we really want to share with you that we're super excited about is Michelle and I really like going on retreats. And we like taking people on retreats with us. And if you've ever been on a retreat with us, some of you may have joined us on our writers retreat. We did one recently in Ojo Caliente, New Mexico. We love to take people into kind of an incubative bubble for a weekend and really work with you intimately and personally and help you craft your own business plan that incorporates your human design type, your strategy, the archetypes that you work with, what you want to do and the vision you have for your business. We like to help you get your feet on the ground and really make sure you've got good concrete steps that support you in growing and nurturing that business. We like to work with you and look at where might you have beliefs or meanings that might be holding you back from stepping into the next level in your business. Sometimes when people come to our retreats, they don't even necessarily have like a plan for their business, but they want to just be in an environment where they can soak in the energy of really focusing on talking to their business, up-leveling their business, meditating with their business,
starting their business. I've done retreats with people just starting. It doesn't matter where you are in the process.
So we have 2 retreats coming up. One that is, I put these pictures here because the pictures obviously aren't enough, but if you can see this one on the left, we actually have rented this amazing house in Colorado mountains in October. So we're thinking leaves, autumn, cool sweaters, nice hats, beautiful views in the mountains. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous house. This is the living room area, so you can see like this huge, expansive view. We're taking a couple of people with us into retreat during October 14 through 17, and we're going to be working on and supporting you in a loving way with good food, good views, good air, good beautiful surroundings, and good information and good coaching in getting your business either started or launching or expanding. Your call, you decide, and we will craft our time with you in the way that best serves you. And then we have another retreat coming up in April. Again, going back to Ojo Caliente, one of our favorite places. We like to do hot springs every quarter. We have our corporation meetings, right? Our board meetings every quarter in a hot spring somewhere. Although we're behind this, we're one hot springs behind this year, Michelle.
We'll be there in September. It's on the books. Yep.
Yes. So it's the same theme in Ojo. Same thing. Come. It's springtime. It's the energy of renewal, expansion, ready to launch or grow what you're building on. And Michelle, you want to take it away and add anything to what I have to say?
Yeah, so what this is, can you share your screen? Can you go to thematrix.world and share your screen? Because there's a lot of information there. So what we're actually doing is it's a mastermind that's bookended by these 2 retreats. So you come, you sign up anytime now before the first retreat, and you get into the community. It includes the community for a year. And we have a semi-private mastermind group for people that are part of this more intensive that is separate than the open community. Then you come on retreat. We work intimately with you. Then there's the masterminding between the October retreat and the April retreat, where we work with you to really tweak, fine-tune, and grow your business in the way that's right for you. And then we finish with a retreat. So it's a 6-month program. And all the information is here at thematrix.world. It explains what you're going to get, how you're going to create your matrix manifesto, your personal manifesto. There's some testimonials here. If you scroll down just a little bit more, it has some questions, but also what you're going to get, what's included right here. Meals are included, lodging is included, and the first 2 people who sign up get private rooms at the 2 retreats instead of shared rooms. So there's a little extra incentive and an early bird bonus of time with both Karen and myself. You'll get a private session as well to get you kick started. So I'm proud of this page. I think it's a nice page. It has everything. There's a payment plan. So it's a 6-month mastermind with Karen and I, bookended by 2 retreats. And I'll have you know that Karen and I have both paid much more than what we're charging here. Do we want to talk about the price?
And also, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can y'all post the link in the chat, and then I'll share it on Facebook page. And someone had a question earlier today. As soon as we started, Paige was asking, can y'all discuss heart healing for business? Would that be something that y'all would be discussing in the subscription and at the retreat?
Oh, certainly. That's a huge topic that we would, we can certainly bring it. Go ahead.
So so I don't know what that means, but intuitively I'm getting there's 2 pieces to that. That's as a parent, and we're using the metaphor of the business as your child, you have to heal your own heart, and you have to heal the heart of work with healing the heart of your child. So if your business has been fractured, traumatized, people don't pay you, people sabotage, they rip off your stuff, you're going along and then your website crashes in the middle of a launch, right? Whatever the trauma is, because that happens in business, you've got to heal the heart of the business, and you have to heal the heart of the mother, the parent, the family unit, the support team. So that's what I heard when you asked the question, Kristen. I don't know if that's what the question meant or not, but certainly I would talk about all of those things. How do you heal the heart of the business? How do you heal the heart of yourself and your support team and the family unit and the business itself?
And on top of that, to add to that, one of the things that we do with quantum alignment that that I will bring to the program too is we do heart activation, where we talk about how when you are envisioning and communicating and being present with your business and the energy of your business, I will teach you how to consciously connect with the heart of your business in such a way that your heart is synchronized with the heart of your business, and then you're drawing into your experience as the steward for your business the things that match the needs for the business. So it's a really creative technique that really allows you to use the science of deliberate creation as well as heart resonance and heart coherence to begin to amplify your capacity to create and create faster in your business. So,
nice.
Did you want to add anything else?
No, I want to know if that answers the question, though.
Yes. Yes.
So whoever that was, Kristen, thank you.
Yeah.
That was Paige, and I'll wait to see if she
responds. Hi, Paige. Hopefully you're still around. And
yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah.
So good. Anyway, the waiting list is available to you at gracepointmatrix.com. It's also at the bottom of the Matrix World. Matrix World talks about the retreat, the 6-month process that you're going to go through with us, and includes, again, the opportunity, if you act fast, to pick your bedroom so you get the master suite with the fireplace and the jacuzzi tub.
Yeah, both retreat centers have one private master bedroom, so the first person that signs up gets it. And then both retreat centers have another private bedroom, and then after that it's shared bedrooms, but you get to choose until, the sooner you sign up, the more choices you will have. Let's just put it like that. It's always the way it works, right? Early bird gets the worm. And you said we're only taking 2 people. I just wanted to clarify. We're taking a handful of people. I think our limit's 12.
Which we are taking more than 2 people. I said a couple.
Yeah.
That always, in my mind, couple always means more. But we're taking a handful of people.
I have to double check. I think it's 12 is the limit.
Yeah. And it won't be so many, because we were really conscious when we created the space that we won't be able to be accessible and available to you and have people who can really continue to support you in that process. So do you have anything else you want to add? By the way, a couple of you were asking, Michelle is a 3-5 manifesting generator.
People are asking that?
Yes, they are.
I'm defined everywhere except my head.
Yes, she's a 3420 manifesting generator. Cross of the vessel of love.
I was going to say, and I've got this love thing going on, which
She
is
loves
how
everybody.
I express through my, what's it called when you have to be hard-nosed sometimes, through my love, through my hard-nose action.
She's firm but kind.
Okay, we'll do that.
Also, she kicks butt.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know me.
Yes.
This has been awesome.
Well, yes, and thank you so much for taking a pause in your umbrella driving. And
it's not raining right now. It's cool.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I wish you Godspeed in your conversations with the insurance adjuster with all the hail damage to your car, and I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you.
And you weren't hurt. And I am so excited to continue to share your brilliance with these amazing people that I am so honored to have as people who Quantum Alignment Show watchers. And thank you all for joining
And which I'm usually a watcher, so thank you for having me on. And hi to everyone. Thank you so much,
yes,
Stacy and Martha and Paige and Gail and everybody else who's been here. It's been awesome to connect with you today. And I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you in person, those that I haven't met yet.
It'll be fun. It'll be, and you'll grow a lot. So, all right, Kristen, thank you too for being our wing woman here.
Thank you, Kristen.
And, yeah, thank you.
We'll see you soon, and take good care of yourselves, and feel free, if you're on Facebook, to post any more questions that you have below. I'll keep checking for the next couple of days. And if you are watching on the Zoom, I will post right here my email address. Please feel free to send me an email, any questions or comments or feedback or things you need from us.
Should I put my email too?
Sure, yes, put your email there.
Awesome. I'd be happy to connect with people.
Let us know how we can serve you. Wait for Michelle, quit typing. And you're done. There you go. Michelle.
I forgot the @
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Michelle at gracepointmatrix.com. So take good care of yourselves. Don't forget, new moon tomorrow. Go out, talk to your business. If you don't have a business or you're still growing it, talk to that. If you are really just looking to use that energy for expansion, talk to your life story. Talk to your higher self. It's a really powerful time for you to get connected with what is truth for you and what do you need to do to embody that truth in your physical, tangible reality, and what steps do you need to begin to take to craft that reality that is a reflection of the magnificence and the beauty of who you truly are. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Michelle. Bye, Kristen.
Thanks. Bye.